Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, depending wherever you're watching me from. Welcome to Sidat HR Digest, brought to you by Sidat Consult, your trusted HR partner. Today is another exciting episode where we talk about trending HR issues, where we learn, unlearn, and relearn to equip ourselves in the corporate world as professionals. So you're welcome to Sidat HR Digest once again. Let us know wherever you are watching us from. So just log on to our various social media sites. Just type in your location and send us your message. So today we'll be having a wonderful discussion. So before we delve into our discussion, I'd like to throw more light on SIDAT HR Consult. SIDAT Consult is a professional HR organization that is into consultancy, HR, all HR related issues. You can trust Sidat Digest for it. So if you want to reach us, you can reach us by 0244629245 or visit our website www.sidatconsultlimited.com with all your HR related issues, and SIDAT is here to solve those for you and to give you a good value for money regarding your HR. So you're welcome once again. Today, my name is Eben, and I'm delighted to be your host. So we'll be talking about a very trending topic that we have heard a lot: how to build an engaged workforce. So today, we are privileged to have a consultant also joining us and also a practitioner too as well. So I'll do a brief introduction of our guest today, then he will take over from us. So it's going to be a wonderful discussion. So wherever that you joined us from, let us know. Just go into the various social media sites and pages and type in your name and where you're watching us. So let's hear some shout out from you and also your questions during the presentation. So today we are privileged to host Mr. Cletus Boatin. He's the current regional head admin and HR with Cocoa Board Ashanti region. He's a member of the Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management Ghana. He holds a BSc, an MBA, and currently a final year student, LLB. And also he lectures with the Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management, Kumasi chapter. So you can see that our resource person is well equipped for today's discussion. We've heard it over and over how to build an engaged workforce. So as a practitioner, these are the secrets you need to know so that you can manage your people to achieve the desired organizational objective. So today, it's a privilege to call upon Cletus Boatin as he takes us through our discussion. Cletus, you are welcome to say that digest, HR digest.
Thank you very much, Ivan.
Okay.
I'm
How have you
happy to.
been and how's everything? I'm good, thank you very much.
In
How have you
fact,
been?
I nearly, how do I put it? I was in Accra in the last 1 hour, but I had to hurriedly get to Kumasi to set up for this program. That shows how important or how I attach importance to this very program. I didn't call Patricia because I had no excuse. I've already accepted to be a resource person for this program. So whatever that took me to Accra, I had to manage and get to Kumasi before the time. So I'm happy to be here, and I hope we're going to have a very exciting session. And as a teacher, we're going to have an interaction. I'm not just going to lecture or give a presentation, even though I have some few slides I want us to go through, but it's going to be a discussion. Fortunately, all of us on this platform are practitioners, so we're going to share ideas and make sure that at the end of the day, we take something home. So I'm hoping we're going to have a very exciting encounter.
Okay,
It's
thank you,
unfortunate
Cletus.
I have challenges with my camera, so you cannot see my face, but I'm sorry for that.
Okay.
Right.
Your pardon. Okay, so thank you so much for honoring this invitation, and we are grateful. And like you said, it's going to be an interactive session. So We are going to learn a lot. So if you just join us today, we are going to talk about building an engaged workforce. What does it mean to build, and how can you build an engaged workforce? And we are privileged to host Cletus Boatin. He's a current regional head of admin and HR, Cocoa Board Ashanti region. He's going to. So, Cletus, before we start, and also you go on to your presentation, when we say an engaged workforce, what does it say? What does it mean? Because we have people who are not practitioners like us. So, if you could just throw in more light so that people would understand what it means to have an engaged workforce, then you move into your presentation.
Yeah, right. Eben, thank you very much. I asked same question when I was built for this session. I posted the program on my status. So one of my staff members came to me. So, um, what is the meaning of what you are going to have on Sunday? So I threw the question back to her. So I asked, when we talk about engaged workforce, what does it mean? So for her understanding is a manager meeting a group of staff members to have a discussion with them. I said, well, in my class, no answer is wrong, right? So, but at the end of the day, we all agree on what is right. Yes. So when you talk of an engaged workforce, right? If you say that a manager meeting staff members to have a discussion with them, fine. It's not wrong anyway. But what actually it means is that it refers to a group of employees who are highly motivated and committed to their work and actively contribute to the success of their organization, thereby demonstrating a strong sense of enthusiasm and dedication towards their roles and the company's goals. Essentially, they feel connected to their jobs, invested in the company's well-being. So what it means is that an engaged workforce is a kind of team that is connected both in body, soul, and spirit to their company, their goals, their strategic objectives, and what they seek to achieve. So at any point in time, they feel part of the company, and everything that they are doing, they do it wholeheartedly, and they take the company as their own, and they are always happy engaging anything that has to do with the company. So in short or in brief, that is what an engaged workforce means. Even are you there?
I am here.
Yes. So in brief, that is how I would describe an engaged workforce.
I like the term you said, more very motivated in everything that they do. So highly motivated. The term highly motivated, committed to their work. Okay, so Mr. Cletus, the floor is yours now.
Right. So we look at some of the characteristics of an engaged workforce. What should you see, or what is it that one should see to be able to know that this workforce or this team is really engaged? So one of them is there's emotional connection between leadership and all the staff members. What it means is that employees feel strong emotionally, and there's a bond between the members of the organization and leadership. So if you see something like that in any organization, you should be able to say that yes, this workforce within this organization is really engaged. Now there's motivation and inspiration. Employees feel a strong emotional bond and they feel motivated and contribute to the organization success. What it means is that whatever that they are doing, they do it wholeheartedly, like I mentioned before. and they sacrifice a lot because they are engaged and they feel so happy doing something that will benefit the company. Now they actively participate in anything that the organization wants to do, right? So employees are actively involved in decision making and all the process in the value chain that the organization needs to process in order to bring out output, right? Now there's commitment and loyalty. Once every employee feels engaged, what it is that the person wholeheartedly does the work and takes it as his own. So he owns every project that is given to him or her. And with that, it leads to increased productivity and even their well-being. Because when I always tell my staff that you spend almost 95% of your time in the office. So if you are not happy coming to work, if you wake up in the morning and you are not happy coming to work, that means that you are killing yourself softly, right? But when you come to the office, whatever happens there, health-wise, you are not apt. And when it continues for a longer time, it means that you are killing yourself in a way. So if you are in an organization that has a toxic environment, you are not being recognized, you are not being engaged, you are not being part of the team, then it means that you'll be demoralized and it won't help. So if you see something like that in any organization, then it means that staff members in that organization are well connected and they are engaged. Now, we want to look at some of the benefits of an engaged workforce, which I've mentioned some already. So, one is they willingly takes up responsibilities, right? Once you are in the office and you are happy with the team, you are connected, you are informed about whatever decision that is happening, you are made part of the decision making process, you own whatever comes out of it. And at the end of the day, you take responsibility of whatever action that needs to be taken. Now, employees concentrate on tasks and goals because they are part and parcel of the decision making process and all the policies that's and rules and regulations that we put in place, they are part of it. Like I said, once they are part of it, they own it. So at the end of the day, they make sure that they concentrate on those tasks assigned to them and leading to the achievement of the goals that are set by the organization. Mind you, now HR has moved from transactional to transformative and now strategic. So any strategic decision or objective or any action by any employee that is geared towards the strategic achievement of the goals is something that is very key in this modern day HR. Whatever you are doing as a staff member, if it's not aligned or it doesn't contribute to the attainment of the strategic goal or objective of the company, then you are not considered doing something positive. So it leads to members of the team concentrating on a task and a goal. Now we talk about natural work team. When the natural work team of any organization are not working as a team, then it means that the team members are not engaged. Right. So another point is that it produces high quality work output. Once members are engaged, they are part of the process, and whatever decision that is taken, they feel part of it and they feel motivated to do such work. They make sure that whatever they are doing, they look at it with a second eye. And for that matter, at the end of the day, they come out with an output that is perfect to the organization, right? Another one is it motivates staffs, right? And other customers who come in. Staff motivation is not, I don't want to go into compensation, but it's not all about money, right? When I take you through compensation, my students, they are aware. You realize that it's not only money, financial compensation, that's what makes employees happy. Sometimes even smiling at somebody or saying thank you to a subordinate is enough to make somebody happy. Even sometimes giving somebody a challenging job that he needs to rack the brain, sleepless nights, it makes somebody happy to be part of the team. So once you make them part of the system, they feel that, yes, I also own this decision. So let me try and make it well, right? And with that, it motivates them. Once you make them part of the system, it motivates them to give their all, right? Then desire to progress. Well, once you make them part and parcel of your team, they also learn. Every section you meet them, every time you meet them to discuss anything of mutual concern, they learn from you and all that. So they will strive to get to the top, to also become like you. So they also have the desire to rise to the top by making sure that they calculate every decision that they take in order that they also perfect their actions to be able to get to the top. Objective about the company. Once you involve them and you engage them in everything that you do, they become so objective, right? And at the end of the day, they will speak well of the company that they work for. And the team cohesion will also even speak to the public, customers and clients who come in, right? Thereby achieving the overall goal and objective of the company. And when staff are engaged, you discuss not only success, you discuss both success and failures. And in that, leadership will be able to point out mistakes of subordinates, right? So that they'll be learning from their mistakes as they progress. Because if you don't do that, members of the team will think that what they are doing is right. Okay, before you realize it's gone overboard. But once you realize it's early and you point it out to them, they are able to reform, make adjustments, and make sure that they do the right thing, thereby making them better managers in the future. You also provide creative solutions. This one, you don't run a one person show, right? And I also, one thing about me is that I learn even up to the level of the cleaner in the office, right? And it has helped me so much. But there are certain things that you think that this one, I will need it from a PhD person. It will surprise you to note that a cleaner that maybe somebody does not regard will give you a solution that is so perfect that you wonder. So once you're a team, you learn from each other. You engage, you discuss issues, and certain things will come up, and you learn from the unknown to the known, or from the known to the unknown, right? So it also another thing that we need to note. This one I've already said it already, because once you do all this, you get to produce high quality work or output. Because at the end of the day, the objective of the company is what we need to achieve. So at the end of the day, if you're not able to produce quality outputs that is so dear to your clients, then you've done nothing, right? At the boardroom, as HR, we are supposed to advise. So if you engage as a team, any department that engages, when you meet at the boardroom, you realize that your presentation or all the solutions that you give out become so perfect and it gears towards the attainment of the overall goal of the company. So basically, that is what we have, or I just put out as the benefit that we can achieve when we engage ourselves as a team.
Wow, wow, wow. I love this presentation, especially the benefits when you said one of the benefits that really hits me or resonates with me is creativity. Because right now in an organization, we need to think outside the box to remain competitive in the market. So I think if an employee is well engaged, it's really a successful organization. So very, very, very key and spot on.
Yeah.
So, if you just joined us, we are having a discussion, a wonderful discussion with Cletus Boatin. He's the head, regional head, HR and admin with Board Ashanti region, and we are talking about the topic how to building an engaged workforce, and he has touched on so many. So I'll just go to the chat box and look and see those who have just joined us in this wonderful discussion. Whilst the presentation is going on, if you have any comments or question, please drop them in the chat box, and I will gladly read it out. So I have Dency James, staff of Agogo Presbyterian Women College of Education. He's all the way from Asante Achim Agogo. And we have our loyal viewer or Zakari Salamat. He says, hello, good evening from Kumasi. I also have Charles Loco, who's also joining us. So it's been a wonderful, and I'm really enjoying it, enjoying this discussion. But I think, Cletus, our next discussion is how now we know who an engaged workforce is. We know the benefits that an organization starts to gain if you have an engaged workforce. But let's see how to build the strategies involved in building this engaged workforce. If you can throw a deeper perspective to that. Yes.
Yes. So that is the last thing that we'll be looking at today. Like I told you, I'm really, really tired, but then I had to make sure that I don't disappoint Patricia because I know my madam. So you look at the strategies to build an engaged workforce. How do we do it if an organization exists and probably is not engaging the workforce and the company wants to start something like that? How do you do it? Yes. So one has to do with recognition and rewards. Like I said, I always tell my students that nobody works because he wants to work. No, we work because we have needs to satisfy. Other than that, I'll sleep. If I sleep, wake up, and there's food, there's a car, there's fuel, I can go and chill, sorry, get my lunch somewhere, drive around, and there's money. Why should I work? Right? But there are needs for individuals to satisfy. That's why we work. And for that matter, if people work to your satisfaction, you need to recognize them. Right? And the recognition comes in a various forms, not only in monetary forms, but at least patting the back of your subordinate that's challenged this job is really done well. Thumbs up, right? It motivates the person and it makes the person feel part of the system. And every decision that you want to take or every project that you want to undertake, the person will willingly support the project for it to be a success. So rewards, you can also implement reward scheme, right? Probably if you achieve this target, we're going to give you this fuel coupon, we're going to give you this vacation, a trip to Dubai, a trip to Mahan Beach Resort, at least something just to make the person feel that he has done something extraordinary, the person to be happy, right? We can also look at you can also take employee survey. If you want to know whether your employees are engaged or your workforce are engaged, you take employee survey. And how do you do it? You administer questionnaire and ask certain pertinent questions that are so personal to the welfare of the organization to solicit their views, whether they feel part of the company and they feel part of the decisions that are being made by leadership. If you do that, you'll be able to know whether your employees are engaged or not after your analysis. You don't just administer it and leave it there. After that, you need to analyze and make sure that your questions are cogent in such a way that it addresses the core issues that you intend to address. Give them growth opportunities for training, take stock of where you are as a company, and make sure that personal development of your employees are paramount to you. If you do that, you'll be able to know whether your workforce is engaged or not. Then also promote the core values of your organization. Sometimes there are certain organizations, they put it out, their core values, but they don't live it. If you do that, you've already failed as an organization. So as leaders, if you say accountability is one of your core values, please make sure that you live up to it. If you say empathy is one of your core values, make sure you live up to it. There are managers or leaders or supervisors who care less about their employees. It's bad, right? If they are not there, you are not there. And you are their immediate family member. Even though we are there at the workplace to work, we are there for business. But in as much as your subordinates don't have sound mind from their homes, they will not have sound mind to produce for you. So as a leader, you always have to make sure that they are okay. One thing that I have been doing from all the companies I've been working as HR, when I come, I will make sure I will go door to door just to say hello to everybody and see whether everybody is on seat. If the person is not on seat, why is the person not on seat? Is it that he has some challenges on the way coming to work? Or so if you give ourselves like an hour and so we are not seeing the person, we have to reach out to that person and know what's wrong. All those petty things, we will see them to be petty, but there are things that people value. I always tell people that now I'm in Ashanti region, I'm not from here. If something, God forbid, happens to me now, it's my office people who are my immediate family who will take care of me before probably placing a call to my family. So if you do that, you feel that all your workforce becomes like a family, even though that is not to say that don't apply the rules where necessary. No. Gone are the days where HR, when you are even coming to the office, people will be running away. No. We've transitioned to a strategic HR system where HR business is to be at the boardroom, make sure that you will be the unofficial doctor to diagnose the company and provide solutions to them. So it's also another point that you need to note. Leave your core values and promote them. Right. Also recognize the team's activities. Okay, the achievement of your team, whether big or small, it will go a long way to boost the team spirit of the organization. Like I said, even if somebody does a report for you and say that no, Charlie, this report there is super, let the person know. At least some ice cream from your fridge will not be bad. A lunch, special lunch for that person will not be bad. It motivates the person. So the next time you give that person an assignment to do, you make sure, Charlie, this one there, I've already done this and I'm here. So I'll make sure that if I'm at level 5, I should hit level 6 or 7, right? So if we do that, team members will always strive, go the extra mile to make sure that they produce an output or a report or something that is so meaningful to your objectives. Right. Then make sure that you leave a culture, a company's culture that is embraced by majority of the company, right? You will not get all to embrace it. If you get all, hallelujah, but at least the majority should embrace the kind of culture that you built in that organization. And mind you, that is why some companies, some multinational, now HR has transitioned to people and culture in most of the multinationals. So we are dealing with the human being, the human resource, and the culture that pertains within the organization. So if you don't build a culture that is in sync with your strategic goals and objectives, at the end of the day, you will not get your staff to be engaged and be happy to work for you. So please, it's something that you also need to. Communication and transparency is very key. It's a strategy that if we adopt, people, some organizations go for even management meeting, they don't communicate the outcome to their sectional members. No, it's wrong, right? That's why we have something we called ultimate responsibility in HR. As HR, the ultimate responsibility when it comes to HR communication or the organizational is dependent on the HR, right? But you have people or organizations where, for instance, an accounts department, somebody comes to work late and he expects, the accounts manager expects HR to query the person. No, as an accounts manager, you are the HR head at your department, right? So those basics, you will have to deal with it until you think that is something that, as an organization, we need to be aware. That's where HR comes in. Other than that, those disciplinary measures and those basic things is an HR function for the line manager, right? So we need to communicate right. Who does what and so forth. If you don't get a clear cut of those things, we have problems, right? So let's get our communication right and make sure that everything that we do is transparent for everybody. Once it's transparent, oh, this person knows that, oh, this decision they took, management took the decision, they want to bring up a policy. After discussing it, the proposal, it came down for staff inputs and all that. After that, they took note of the inputs of all staff and they amended their position and all that. If staff have that feeling that any decision that they take, our inputs are recognized, you don't have issues, and the staff members will feel engaged. And any organization that you see all this happening, it means that the workforce of that organization is well engaged. Don't forget about employee well-being. Now, people, this is a controversy I want to bring across, though, but we can all have a discussion. The well-being of your employees. People say work-life balance, but I don't believe in that. When you talk of balance, what I mean is that it should be 50-50, right? How can you do 50-50? I know, or I believe in work-life integration, right? We can only integrate our life and the work that we do. For instance, a senior staff at most, your leave will not be up to more than 40 working days, right? So even if you are taking all the 40 days at once, which the policy or the leave, the Labor Act, per the Labor Act, you can take it in two equal installments. But let's assume that you decide to take the 40 days, right, to go and rest. That's 40 days balanced with the 11 months or so that you'll be working. No. But it's something that we need to have a debate on. Me, I don't believe in work-life balance. But the import of this message is that make sure that the work and the life of the employee is taken care of. Make sure that once they work, they need to take a break to go and rest. There are companies or managers who don't allow their employees to go on leave. And I know some organizations, they even buy your leave, which is not right. It's against the law. But some organizations, they do it. Right. So as managers and as practitioners, let's take note of all these and make sure that we take care of our employees' well-being. If you see all these points that I've enumerated in any organization, nobody should tell you that that workforce is really engaged. So I'll pause here. If there are questions or contributions or any discussions that you want to bring on board, you are welcome.
Wow, 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 wow. These are top-notch strategies that we can implement to achieve success. So, question has just dropped. We have Godandakun. He says, "Good evening. I'm watching from Kumasi." So Zachariah said that what would HR do if after applying all the strategies to get employee engaged and it still doesn't work with some employees? So I think before you tackle her question, I want to ask a question, a follow-up question on what you just said. How you know that at the workplace is made up of different generations. You have the Gen Zs, the millennials, and all. And every generation has their characteristics or their behavior. So how do you harness this behavior to keep them engaged? So if you can throw more light about harnessing these generational behaviors that we have in an organization to achieve this employee engagement that we are talking about.
All right, thank you very much. I think that this is a very great topic that was used during our last conference, understanding the generational and how they can impact on our organization. So the simple answer I'll give you is that you cannot harness anything in a vacuum, right? You need to know the traits of each of the generations, right? We have the Gen Zs, the millennials, and all that. Now we have the Meta and all those things, right? So you need to take your time, read about them, understand them, right? Other than that, you'll be talking about something to a Gen Z, somebody who thinks that after waking up, I either have to pick my phone or go into my mail to check what is happening there, right? Or go into social media. But somebody also thinks that if you want to send something to me, it has to be hard copy, it has to be paper for me to read and act on it. Is that okay? Somebody thinks that, oh, if we are having a meeting, why don't we do Zoom? Because that one, I don't have to drive, waste fuel, go to the office. I can just sit by my PC or my phone and we have that thing done, right? Agency will be comfortable with that. But somebody will also think that the BBC, born before computer, will say that no, we need to meet in person. Bring the documents, hard copy, let's scrutinize it and take decisions, right? Somebody will also think that, yes, me, I'm 58 years old, you 22 years, you can't tell me how things are done, right? So, all you have to understand all the generations and what their attributes are so that you'll be able to blend, okay? And also with that, you have to reorient the team. For instance, you cannot have a team full of millennials. No, you have to blend them. They have to be Gen Z, they have to be Meta, they have to be all that. You understand? At the end of the day, you have a collective kind of generations that they will bring their ideas together. Then they will disagree to agree. At the end of the day, you have a cogent system that you'll be working with. So for me, first of all, you have to understand the different generations before you can harness whatever is in them. I hope your question is answered.
Very well. The key thing is to understand so that you can come up with strategy. Thank you very much. So, like what Zakaria also said, she's saying that what would HR do if after applying all these strategies to get employees engaged and it still doesn't work with some employees? So, what
Okay.
do you do?
Okay. What it is that you always not get everybody agreeing to whatever you implement. That one I will assure you, right? It's only on rare situations that you get 100% acceptance of new things and ideas or policies into place. But whatever be the case, if you engage staff, if you make sure that your communication goes down with them, right? If you make sure that you carry out or you set forth to make sure that all their inputs that are necessary, input be an papa. So all the inputs that are necessary for the course of implementing that particular strategy, you make sure that you do that. Other than that, definitely you face some backlash here and there. But even after you've implemented, you need to follow up to engage the staff for them to really understand whatever it is. Because if they don't understand, they will definitely kick against it, right? But we have people who but they just want to cause you trouble. No one, you have to ignore them, right? But make sure that those things are the minutest part of the staff members, right? But for instance, if you have about 55% kicking against a policy, it means that there's a problem, right? But if you have 95% success or 86% success and the rest are kicking against it, it means that you really have to move ahead and make sure that you sit back and make sure that those who don't want to accept it, you engage them and really talk to them. There are people who will just want to intentionally, not that they have a problem with the system, but they just want to worry you. So those people, you can corner them, right? So those who know how to do 1999, you corner them somewhere. Those who want to have lunch, you corner them somewhere and let them become your friends, right? With that, you succeed. So,
Wow. They have learned a new term, 99. So I
yes.
think it's something that we also. So, Mr. Cletus, this has been a wonderful discussion. I also want you to throw more light on how leadership impacts employee engagement. You know that HR, we are always committed to ensure that our workforce is highly motivated and engaged.
Yes.
So we have people we report to, we have the board, we have the senior management, especially HR when you're not privileged to be a member of the senior management.
Yeah.
How does leadership impact in this strategy of ensuring that our employees are highly engaged?
Okay. So, at the end of the day, whatever you do in an organization, if you will be successful, you need leadership buy-in, right? So when there is no leadership in an organization, it means that obi already ope, right? So there has to be a calculated effort in order to provide leadership for your employees. But then, if you don't provide the right leadership, it means that you are not connected to your objective, your strategic objectives and goals, right? So your strategic goals and objectives should inform you as to the kind of leadership that you provide. But at the end of the day, you are looking at the objectives sitting up there, right? Because the social contract signed by the CEO or the managing director or the general manager is a matter of semantics, however the organization calls it. It trickles down to the last person, to the deputy chief executive, to the sectional heads, and all that. So my achievement becomes the achievement of my boss in that order. So you have to make sure that the leadership that you provide is very direct to the objectives and goals that the organization seeks to achieve. Other than that, you are doing cost 90 work. So basically, that's what I would say. And any organization that has no leadership is bound to fail. And that organization cannot stand. It will collapse. Right.
Wow, wow. Thank you. So I think the questions have started dropping in. We have Irajua Jumbo. He says that please, how long does it take for a new system to be implemented?
Right. Every system that you want to implement, you need to start by writing a proposal to management. So as practitioners, don't just wake up one day and say that, oh, this thing I slept and this idea came to mind, so I've implemented it. No. Write a proposal to management. When they go through and they give you the approval, you convert that strategy or policy proposal to a policy. Now, I cannot say that, oh, you can use 1 month to implement, but in your proposal, you have to identify and state how that policy is going to be or strategy is going to be implemented. Give yourself timelines, right? When you are going to engage all the staff, when you are going to, there should be a committee, of course. When you are going to take their inputs, after the inputs, when is it going back to management for discussion and approval? After that, you have to, the implementation process, how is it going to be like, right? So based on your proposal, you have to enumerate all those things. So with that, you follow your calendar and make sure that those things are implemented. But I cannot tell you that you need 3 days to implement a policy or a strategy or you need 1 year. No. But you, as the practitioner who is putting in the proposal to be converted into a policy or a strategy that you want to use for the organization, you will have to list or design a calendar for that project. So every project should have a start date and an end date, right? So the implementation process, you indicate all those things in it so that whatever management commitment you need, whatever the committee's commitment you need, whatever staff members commitment that you need, when you need to start it, when you need to engage the staff, and after that, the rollout, is it going to be on a pilot basis before the general rollout, or you just want to start it a whole, like a wholesale? No. Yes. So you have to look at all those things and design a calendar for it.
Okay, okay. So uh, we also have James. James says, I wanted to ask, how can I go with my boss who doesn't engage any staff?
Right. Uh, your boss will always remain your boss, right? But I think that this is a modern system of leadership and management that we have. So if your boss is not engaging, but at least you once a while have team meetings, right? It's incumbent on you to suggest. You cannot go and tell your boss that no, you've not been engaging us, you've not, any decision that you take it solo and all that. But in a more nicer and polite way, you chip it in. This, I think is not happening. I suggest that if something like this is implemented or put in place, let's have team commitments and all those things. Let's put our heads together and agree on what to do, what not to do, and all that before any decision or any project is implemented. I think that any reasonable being or manager will think around it and try to implement. But if you go, oh, in a different way, manager, you've not been meeting us, you take decisions alone, he's human and he's the boss. So he might be angry at you and will not take it. But if you find a nice way to tell him, I think that every human has a human factor. And if you reflect over it, you realize that what you are saying makes sense. And you want to implement something like that.
Okay, okay. So if you just join us today, we had a wonderful discussion. We are about to draw down the curtains, but I have one more question, and also we'll take Clement's final words and advice to practitioners. So before he shares his final words, I just want to ask him this question. And so, Mr. Cletus, how do you see the concept of employee engagement evolving in the next 5 to 10? Are there any new challenges or opportunities that might rise out of this? So if you can just share your, then after you just give us your closing remarks or your advice to practitioners.
Okay, so employee engagement or workforce engagement is something that is a modern day tool that practitioners should use in order to achieve their goal. Because now uh, things have changed. The way we used to do things, actually, you go to certain organization, you not even know who is the manager and who is the subordinate, right? So if you make, I always tell people that learning or bringing people together to achieve a common goal is the easiest thing to do. If you're a leader and you really want to be great, then you have to engage. So, what I normally do, and anybody who has worked with me before knows that anytime I leave the office, I have no fears. The office will be run as if I'm there, right? I make sure that I bring everybody on board, even though everybody has a schedule, but I make sure that someone with schedule A will be able to do the work of somebody on schedule B. So that if the person is not there, is proceeding on leave or something, or is sick, the work will not be a standstill. So if you bring your team together, let them know your objective, your strategic objective, what you seek to gain as a team if you work together. Or rather, it will amaze you that if you have a target to deliver, let's say 10 days time, that target can be delivered within 5 days. Once you make them feel part of the system, they work. When you call them up done, Charlie, I need this report. Can you spare some time and forward it to me? The person will be ready, even if it's a Sunday, be ready to leave whatever that is doing to get to that report, because he knows that at the end of the day, the success is not for you alone as a manager, but the success will be celebrated by you as a team. So if you do that, I tell you, it will work like a magic. But if you want to do like boss subordinates and all those things, yes, I agree that there are times that you have to be strict on certain things. Yes, but the team spirit should be like family, right? So that at the end of the day, you get the job done, and what else? You are there to work to achieve your targets, and once you get the work done, what else? The rest is celebration. But when you're a leader and you think that everything that is called in quote celebration should be you, no, your people will not be happy because they are working for you. Everybody knows that when at the HR department, when there is success, is the HR manager. But you were supported by a team. So when you go to the boardroom or the management meeting and you get those compliments, when you come back, share with your team, right? There's nothing wrong if once a while you take your team for lunch from your pockets. There's nothing wrong with that. They feel part of you, right? Once a while, you call one of them, you try to have a one-on-one personal discussion with that person, get to know what is happening in that person's life and how great the person's contribution is affecting the positive growth of that organization. See how that person behavior and all those. You feel that yes, my boss really wants to be part and know what is really happening in my life. So I should give my all. So for me, I think that engaging staff is one of the magics that any organization can have. But then let's make sure that in doing that, let's not forget about the rules and regulations that we operate with. If we are not careful to, you breed indiscipline. So that is the watchword that I will give to practitioners. So I am happy to engage you this evening. I think we've had a very nice session. All the questions that came in are very, very important questions. If I was able to answer it the way you want it, that's fine. But if I wasn't and you want to engage me one-on-one on phone, or I'm fine. You can call me for us to have a discussion. I'm always
Okay.
passionate to do anything that will promote the practice of HR. If you
Thank
want me to even spend my nights, sleepless night, to do something that will advance the cause of HR, I'm always ready to do that. And all those who know me, they know that I stand for that. And let's all embrace the strategic move of the current trends of HR. And let's HR is something that's gone are the days people think that we deal with only correspondence. More than letter, I'm not sure. No. All right. But that's not HR. Those are administrative issues that people don't understand. Personnel management, we've moved from there, and now we are at the strategic level of HR, right? Even though we have to be at the boardroom. So all HR colleagues here should be striving to get to the boardroom, be the chief executives of our organization. And when you are up there, you'll be able to understand the system well and manage the system better than the technical people who think that they were born to be CEOs, right? So I thank you very much. And I'll urge all of you to also try and be members of the Chartered Institute of HR because the law has been passed already. The Act 1020, right? 2020. So it will get to a time where if you are not a member, it will be very difficult for you to manage or to head HR in any of the institutions. So it's not something difficult. It's not because I teach there, that's why I'm advertising for them. But I think that's it will change your perception and your ideas about the practice. So I thank you very much. I thank you, Patricia, for giving me this opportunity. And I'll be available anytime you call on me to have a discussion. I call it a discussion.
Wow.
With
Thank
my
you so
thank you.
much, Cletus. We had Cletus Boateng joining us today for a wonderful discussion on building an employee engagement, a highly motivated employee engagement. And it's been wonderful. Thank you so much. We deeply appreciate your time and throwing more perspective. I have a comment from Irajwa Jumbo. He says that you are a good boss. So this is a wonderful compliment to you. So if you joined us today and you missed the session, don't worry so much. Just go to our various social media pages. You would have a recordings there. Please take your time and just play it and imbibe in it. And trust me, so that always brings out the best. So, Cletus, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Just a quick one. This March, we have our SIDAT HR conference. Cletus was also a member of our previous HR conference, and trust me, he has really enjoyed. Cletus, do you want to add something to or spice it up for me? Your
Oh,
comments
I was
regarding
not
our
just a
conference.
member, but I was privileged to be made the chairman of the planning committee.
Great.
Yes. So that conference is something that no practitioner should miss, right? We had this one, the previous one in Kumasi in September, and this is coming up in Takoradi in March. We will still have our Kumasi one. So those of you who are not able to attend, even though I'm sure the topics will not be the same, but I entreat everybody to partake in the Takoradi one as well as the Kumasi one so that you have a double portion of the loaded people who are coming to give a presentation. And I can assure you, those who are coming, we always have the best industry players as our guest speakers. So please make sure that you attend. And your life will never be the same as a practitioner.
I like that term. Your life will never be the same. Iradra, very soon you will have the Accra conference, so just stay tuned with that. Just prepare to join us in Takrady. So this year is coming up on Thursday, the 27th of March, 2025, and it's happening live at the Takrady Western Serene Atlantic Hotel. This time, the theme is from policy to practice, integrating employee well-being into HR management for a motivated and highly productive workforce. So please, it's going for a cool in-person 1,250 Ghana cedis. And if you want to join us virtually, it's just 520. So this one, budget it in your learning and development programs and try and participate in it. Also, there's slots for corporate sponsorship. So if you're looking to sponsor this program, please just DM us and we'll gladly contact you and we'll pick it up from there. So thank you so much, Mr. Cletus, for your time and having us. After every conference, certificates are issued, certificates of participation are issued. So be rest assured that this one is just going to be a wonderful one for you. So thank you so much. Today's discussion has been on building an employee engagement, which is very key. We've learned about what employee engagement means, the benefits an organization stands to gain, and also how, as practitioners, we can practicalize these strategies at our various workplaces. So please, if in case you missed this session, just after this recordings, just go back to our social media pages and just click on and you can listen to the playback. Today's session has been brought to you by Sedat HR Consult, your trusted HR partner. If you have any HR related issues, just call us today and we are ready to be at your service. Thank you so much. Our host, my name is Eben, and I've been delighted to be your host. We thank Mr. Cletus Boatin, the regional head of HR and administration for Cocoa Board. Ashanti Region was our guest today. So a big thank you to everyone who just took time off their busy schedule to. So we say a big thank you to James, Zakaria, Charles Loco, Good Dakon, Irajwa Jumbo, George Ben Smith. We say thank you all for taking time to join us today, and let's see ourselves next week for an exciting discussion. Thank you and do have a blessed week. Bye.